I Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, on y'all praises and glory to it. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders, their millstone. Shalom to the hope righteous remnant of Israel, who not been here's their word, but do is also. This brother Yamai Ba, coming to you with a hopefully edifying while I was doing a lesson. I just want to give a quick testimony, just a quick hit, or will. So I was trying to cross the street, and I end up, dropping my phone. A lady, she stopped and she pointed and she told me I dropped my phone. But the second I turned back to see, the green light had turned and my phone was just in the middle of the street, and the cars were just going over it. Now it was so many cars, I didn't see if any wheel hit it, but basically my screen was, the screen was broken up, but nothing was wrong with my phone though. But as it was getting, run over, I thought the spirit gave me, not to worry about it, the Lord put it in my spirit not to worry about it, because ultimately the Lord knows what we need before we need it. And I wanted to say that. Because I'm gonna make a point. Because at this point in time, it would be very challenging for me to have lost my phone. Like in the position I'm in life right now, life would be very, very difficult for me if I lost my phone. And I say that to say that the Lord wouldn't take something away from you He knows you need. He would give you, like, let's say if the Lord did do that, the Lord would most likely make a way through the Spirit that, I might just get a government phone. Or I might just, because at the end of the day, the Lord is going to give you what you need. He's not going to put nothing too grievous on you, man. He's not going to put nothing that you cannot bear. 1 Corinthians 10:13, there have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear it. So a way to get out of it, like I said, the backup phone, it probably could have had a backup phone, because again, I'm in no position right now, to not have a phone, to not have a cellular device. Who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able. He's not going to put nothing above you that's going to be too grievous, because at the end of the day, you still got to serve him, and he's going to give you no excuses to serve him, So for you to not have an excuse to serve him, he has to give you a way to serve him, all right? And he's most likely going to set something up for you to have a way to do so. So boom, he might, your car might break down, or you gotta get an oil change, or whatever you gotta get, or whatever, the pipe burst or whatever. The Lord's gonna bless, man. All right, and what that goes into faith, and believing on him or whatnot, believing that Yahweh Shai is going to, give you your daily bread, for you to be sufficient, He's just not going to leave you out here on the streets, man. Those are those 2/3, man. They the ones out here left on the streets, man. All right? Sirach 2:10, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? So you got to trust in Yahweh Shai, man. You got to trust in the Lord, man, because it's no one that he left, that believed on him, man. So you gotta believe the Lord got you, man. When I was, standing on the other side, the spirit was on me, for me to feel that way, be like, nah, I don't know, man. I couldn't go without, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately, what? Nothing's wrong with the phone at all, man. The screen is a little shattered, but there's no glass missing from the screen. Call light me, how about you? But it's just a quick exhortation, to trust in the Lord, man. When things go bad, don't when things seem like it took a turn for the worse, just sit back and trust on him. I forgot who made this quote, You know, it was in a movie. It said, when there's nothing you can do what you can. All right, in that moment, it was nothing I could do. I had to put my trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, in that moment, you would have to put your trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. What you gonna do? Run in the street and dolphin dive for the phone on green light? You know, that's being hasty when changed to a lower state. The Lord told us not to be hasty when changed to a lower state. We're put in a low position. We're put in a bad position. Just let me get in my flesh. Let me see if I can save it. No, man. Trust on the Lord, man. All right. Even with 2/3, man. The scripture says, "Vengeance is of the Lord." All right. Don't feel like you gotta go back and get revenge on that nigga, man. Cause that might be your last strike with the Lord. You don't know when your last strike is, man. All right. I'm gonna give this Matthew 6 and 7. But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking. And to speak on vain repetition is not really a such thing as a vain repetition prayer. We have to continuously pray for the Lord. But you know, the heathens, they pray to idols. You know, the dumb idols. You know, just wood and stone. You know, that's vain. They don't. The idols can't think. They're not alive. They're just wood and stone. Verse 8. Be not ye therefore like unto them, for for your Father knoweth what things you have need of before you ask him. So the Father, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua knows what we need. All right. They're not gonna give us anything. They're not going. Hey, whatever you need right now, you got it. All right. And if you don't got it, you're being sustained by something, man. All right. The Lord's just not gonna leave us without, man. All right. And the Lord, He works at different times for different people, for different spirits, man. You know, everybody's walk is different. You know, some people got to get their faith boosted in different ways than others. You know, something might happen to a brother, and that might boost his faith a little bit. But if it happened to another brother, you know, versus any other brother, probably would have boosted their faith a lot. You know, every brother's just different. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you go through, whatever happening to you, whatever affliction you're going through, just know it's accomplished by your brethren in the world, and also that the Lord is going to deliver you, man. All right, in due time, in due season, man. And the scripture said everything must be done decently and in order, man. All right, when it's time for the Lord, when it's time for you to receive that blessing, you're going to receive it, man. All right, but what? You got to stay down for your high blessing, y'all. You can't be offended in the Lord. All right, because ultimately we deserve death. But the Lord is just chastising us, man, along the way, so we won't be judged with the world, man. All right? We're standing with the Lord, we're standing with the Lord and getting judged by the world, and we're going to stand with the Lord and judge the world, man. All right? If we continue on this, man. If we put on as the elect. The scripture says you do these things, you shall never fall, man. All right? And granted, we're going to mess up. All right? There's going to be times we get in the flesh a little bit. You know, a righteous man falls 7 times, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. You know? A righteous man, matter of fact, sluggy. Because we're going to mess up. We're in the flesh. We're not perfect. Proverbs 24, verse 16, for a just man falls 7 times and rises up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So what? A wicked person is just going to, like, nah, he's not going to keep trying. He's not going to believe that the Lord's going to say that the Lord's going to deliver him, that the Jacob shovel is coming, that the Lord's going to come back. You know, that we're going to get everlasting life in 100-fold. All right? They don't believe that. And if you're just, you know, the Lord's dealing with you, you're going to bust your ass, man. All right, you're going to slip a few times, but what? The Lord's going to pick you back up, man. And what you got to do, you got to try to pick yourself back up, man. All right? You know, you got to try to, the Lord, you can't just pray to the Lord and just not try, man. You know, you got to try. The Lord has to see you trying to, the Lord, you have to put in an effort for the Lord to give you that boost, man. All right? You know? So you're going to mess up. But ultimately, don't let that shake your faith. The scripture said, hold that fast which thou hast, and let no man take thy crown. All right? Not even yourself, man. Don't let nothing of this world. That's why the scripture told us to forsake. You know, even in that Matthews, you know, that I quoted. You know, so we have to forsake all. All right, and just you know, let go and, you know, fall off the ship and let the Lord take the wheel. You know, Uh, uh, the spirit wanted. So we look at that Matthew 19 verse 29. And every one that have forsaken houses or brethren or sisters or father or mother or wife or children or lands for my name's sake shall receive 100-fold and shall inherit everlasting life. All right, that's plain. Everyone that forsake, you got to forsake this world. All right, if people stand in your way, you ultimately got to hop over them. With all due respect. You know, still honor your parents. But if they're ultimately in the way of you serving the Lord, then you got to find a way to lawfully go around that, man. All right, because scriptures say that our foes shall be the people in our household, man. So don't get surprised when your family turns on you. When they go against you, they start telling people information about you. They start just doing out of characteristic things, man. Because the demons hopping on them, man. All right, because it's prophecy, it's scripture. All right, it has to come to pass, you know. But ultimately, if we keep fighting for the Lord, let go, just let the Lord take the wheel, let the Lord guide us, because he's already doing it. It's like when you're trying to do your own thing, it's like you're resisting him. He's moving your legs for you, but you're trying to do your own thing in the flesh and the Lord, and you're just resisting the Lord. You're making it harder for him to guide you, man. You know. So just let go and let Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah work, man. All right, and we gotta pray for discernment to see. Especially in these times that we're in, we got to pray for circumspection, and pray for each other. So it's a lot it had cut out, but yeah, hopefully that was edifying. What I stored into the Spirit of the Lord. Shalom.